In the process of going through the stories of the Bible, there are specific ways which God reveals himself to us. And when we look for these keys during our studies, we can see how he opens each new passage that comes to us. I call this progressive revelation. You've probably heard me, if you've been in some of these sermons, say that. Progressive revelation. In other words, God is progressively and succinctly revealing himself in a way which makes very complex issues understandable, even to an adult like me, okay? Step by step, as we go through the Bible, we make a journey. We're journeying through this weaving path of God's. And just like opening door after door after door to get to the inner sanctum of a building, we go through the Bible and we open one door after another until we reach the very heart of God and the inner workings of his mind right there in the Bible. In this progressive revelation, there is a particular way that God narrows what he's doing, leading us down to Jesus Christ. And I was going over some sermon notes by a guy named Ray Stedman, and I'm going to quote some of them at the end of this sermon today. And he used a term which nicely summarizes one particular avenue of revelation, and so I'm happy to adopt his terminology into my own. Now, some people will call it a branch or a tree with branches, but he calls it God's funnel. As you know, a funnel is used to narrow the path of something, maybe like a liquid or a powder or pebbles or sand or whatever. And what it does is, by using a funnel, you take something broad and unwieldy and you direct it into a definite and a sure path. And God uses this funnel type of pattern through much of the Old Testament to eventually direct our attention to a particular event and a particular person in human history. Along the way, as he's going through this funnel, he will go through branches off of the main shoot of the story, such as Genesis chapter 4. If you remember that, we talked about Cain and what happened to him, and it mentions his line. And after that, after going off onto such type of branches, they return to the main line, and it proceeds downward through this particular funnel. We left the ancient world behind in the flood, and then we started out in a new adventure with Noah and with his three sons. They are Shem, Ham, and Japheth. We talked about Japheth 2 weeks ago, Ham last week, and we're going to talk about Shem today. But after he noted these people, he went into a branch about what Ham did to his father Noah, and then he went into what Noah did as far as cursing Canaan, his son, and the blessings of his other sons. After that, we came to chapter 10, and we read about two more branches. We read about Japheth and Ham. And now God is going to return today to this funnel with Noah's second son, who is Shem. Now, I'd like you to remember this type of pattern as you read the Bible, because as you do, and you see these branches, when they're mentioned, they will somehow affect the funnel, and then it will return to the funnel. But these branches are there for a reason, and we'll see one or two of them today. Eventually, this funnel is going to come to the person of King David, and God's promise to him about an eternal kingship through one of his descendants, a promise which forms our text verse for today, which is 2 Samuel 7, 12 through 16.